Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Vegan Babe here, and today I'm going to be doing the vegan tag because I thought it's about time that I shared with you why I'm vegan and what sort of things inspired me to be vegan. So let's just get started with the tag. I'm going to tag every single one of you that are watching this video right now to do the vegan tag. And just as a kind of disclaimer, of course, you have to be vegan to do the vegan tag. Otherwise these questions are just going to be like very confusing for you. You're going to be like, but I'm not vegan though, why are you asking me these? So yeah, tagging all of you who are vegan to do the vegan tag. So the very first question is, when/why did you go vegan? So I went vegan in January 2016. Literally the 1st of January 2016, I decided that it was time to make a change and a time to make that change in the form of my diet and my lifestyle. So before being vegan, before turning vegan, I decided to do a very slow transition into veganism. First I was flexitarian, and this is, we're talking about 5-6 years ago. I was flexitarian for quite a long while, but I was originally a meat eater, so I went from meat eater to flexitarian, and then I went to vegetarianism, and then I went into veganism. So prior to being a vegan, I was vegetarian for about 8 or 9 months, I think. I'm not really sure. I didn't really count because, you know, it wasn't a big deal for me. It was just a matter of me excluding things in my diet that I really didn't like, such as meat and dairy. There's one thing that I really did love though, which was honey. And I thought that would be hard to cut out because I used to have honey and lemon every time I was sick, and I used to put a little bit of honey in my herbal teas, but to be honest it really wasn't that hard to cut out. I literally just stopped using it and I found an alternative, which is agave nectar syrup, and yeah, that's it. That's all it really took. So yeah, that's when I became vegan at the start of 2016. So that means I've been vegan for 1 year and a few days. And today is Tuesday the 17th of January 2017, just for reference if you're looking at this video in 2020, who knows. As for why I became vegan for many different reasons. But the very first reason I decided to cut out meat in my diet was because I didn't like the taste of it, and something deep down inside of me was telling me that no, you shouldn't be eating this. And like every single fiber of my being was just like, ugh, I really don't like this. So of course the first number one reason was simply because I didn't like it. And if I don't like something, I'm not gonna eat that thing. I'm not gonna do that thing. I'm not gonna chill with that person I don't like. It's just a simple sort of principle that if I don't like something, then it's not going to be included in my life. So I just rejected meat, and I rejected drinking milk and eating cheese. Fuck, my neighbour's back. I don't like him. And the second reason for becoming vegan, which is why I stopped being vegetarian, is because it didn't make sense to consume animals and consume their byproducts. Literally, there are so many different options available. We have almond milk, cashew nut milk, rice milk, oat milk, coconut milk, hemp milk, brown rice milk. I'm sure there are like a bunch of different other milks that you can buy on the store shelf, and you can even make them yourself, but literally I just named 7 alternative milks on the fly for you. And that shows us that we have so many different milk alternatives, and we have so many different meat alternatives if you're into that sort of stuff, which, to be honest, I'm really not into meat alternatives. Maybe I'll have the odd vegan burger every once in a while, or I don't know, vegan chicken nuggets, something like that. But to be honest, for the most part, I really don't. I just like good, simple and healthy food that hasn't really been processed much. I mean, there are times where I'll just have a whole meal and it's just been fucking processed. But it's healthy processed meal. That's what I like to call it. Basically, it's healthy junk food, I guess. But the fact that it's being processed is the thing that makes it the most unhealthiest thing, if you get what I'm trying to say. So, yeah, those are the top 2 reasons that I became vegan. And just as a recap, it's because I no longer like the taste of meat, dairy, or honey. And logically thinking, it didn't make sense to be eating animals or eating their byproducts when we have so many different alternatives around us that are natural and come from the earth. And then there are a bunch of other reasons, like I'm not even going to count them, but I'm just going to list them for you. Starting from number 3 is that there is too much suffering going around. There's enough suffering for human beings alone, but there is so much suffering for animals. It's just like, why add? Look, you're just adding, add. Why add to all of the suffering going on in the world? If we can do one thing, it's to help stop animal suffering. And I'm not saying human suffering is less important than animal suffering or vice versa. They're both equal and we should support them equally. But what I'm saying is that many people, they have a lower view of animal suffering. They think that just because it's an animal, who cares? Like, who gives a shit? But in my point of view, everything is equal and everyone is equal. And supporting human suffering by consuming meat and their byproducts is a no-no, and that's not something that I really want to do or something that I want to contribute to. The next reason is kind of the same as the second reason. Literally, it makes no sense. We have so many different products, so many different alternatives. We're in the 21st century. It does not make sense to be killing animals, shooting them down, hunting them, just so that we can eat them, wear their fur, and eat their byproducts, or drink their byproducts. It doesn't make sense at all. It's just, in my head, it's ridiculous. And we are civilized animals as human beings, but we're not the sort of animal that goes around and attacks something like a deer with our bare hands and rips its flesh off and starts eating it. We are not wild animals, like lions. We literally don't do that. And see if you can find me a person that does. They're probably a cannibal, right? And you don't want to go down that route, trust me. So yeah, the next reason is more of a spiritual reason. I remember there was one specific time where I ate a piece of pork or a piece of chicken. It was either one of those two. I think it was pork. And immediately I felt absolutely horrible. And I'm not talking horrible about sick. I mean, yes, I felt sick, but that's because of the mental and sort of emotional feeling that I was feeling. And I felt like I felt everything that that animal went through. And I didn't know what this was. When I told my mum that I felt sad and I felt depressed, or I don't know, it's something that I can't really put into words very easily, but I felt some sort of way about eating the animal that I just consumed. And it was only a small part that I tasted, and then I just threw the rest of it out, or I just gave it to someone else. And I'm just gonna try and describe how I felt when I consumed that piece of meat. It felt like I felt everything that the animal had been through up until the point of its death. And it felt like I was getting flashes and images of suffering. And I know that for some people, or for most people, I don't know, it's hard to comprehend and hard to actually believe when I tell you this, but literally that was my experience. And then probably a year later, or months and months away, I don't know how long it was, I came across something on the internet about veganism and karma, and how you take on the karma of what you consume. And I'm thinking maybe, just maybe, I was going through the same thing. Because if you think that every single being in the world, whether you're a human being, civilized animal, or whether you're an animal such as a tiger, bear, sheep, deer, whatever you are, every being in the world, they have karma and they have life experiences. So if you think that every single one of us, we have a life experience and we have karma depths or karma points, whatever you want to call it or look at it as, this is just a theory for me. I'm not saying that this completely exist for sure. I'm saying that this is a possibility that this could exist. Every single being has their life experiences, their karma debt and emotional debt, and etc., etc. And when you kill them, what happens to all of that energy? According to some people, that energy is left, like the remains of that energy is within their flesh. And if you consume that flesh, then you're consuming that energy too. So I'm thinking maybe that could possibly be what I went through. Like either that or I'm batshit crazy, right? But either way, that's what I went through. So that's another reason as to why I am vegan. I'm sure there are a lot more reasons as to why I'm vegan and why I've been staying vegan and why I want to still continue to be vegan. But the last reason that I'm going to touch upon is that being vegan, it feels great, right? And when I think about veganism, it makes me smile because not only, this is another reason too, not only are we helping ourselves, the animals, but we're helping the environment too. So being veganism, it's a win-win situation. It's for me, it's for you, it's for the animals, and it's for everyone around us. It's for the whole world. And that's how I see veganism in a nutshell. And those are all of the basic reasons as to why I am vegan, or why I became vegan. So moving on to the second question. The second question is, who or what inspired you to become vegan? Now, with this question, I would say that it's probably my experiences that have inspired me the most to become vegan. And it's through my own experiences and my own sort of research and knowledge as to why I became vegan. But apart from doing my own research and having my own experiences, I watched someone called Ralph Smart. And if you are familiar with the YouTube community, you will know that Ralph Smart is a very popular guy. He's from where I'm from, London in the UK, and he is also a vegan. And he'll probably pop up again in this video, probably mention him again, because I used to watch him, or I still do watch him, but I just haven't been, following him as much as I used to, or as much as I like to, because of being busy, right? He's a vegan, and he makes all sorts of videos. So I think maybe I may have been getting a bit of subliminal messaging or messages from other people that I was watching on YouTube, because I used to watch people on YouTube because I found them entertaining, and I found what they were saying interesting. So that's the sole reason as to why I watched YouTubers. And this is from a very young age, like teenage, like 15, 16, 17, etc. So I would watch YouTubers for entertainment purposes, or if I found them interesting. And it was in no way anything to do with gaining more information or wanting to become vegan or wanting to become vegetarian or change my diet in any way. And I'm really not the sort of person who follows someone else's lead. Like, if I see someone else doing something, I'll be like, okay, that's cool. But I won't just all of a sudden, like out of the blue, without doing any research or anything at all off my own back, I won't go and just copy them and do what they're doing. So I never really did that. I just saw the YouTubers that I was watching as nice people, and I didn't really see them being vegan or vegetarian or whatever as a big deal. I just saw it as something that was what they did. I didn't pay much attention to it, to be honest. I just liked listening to what they were saying. So to wrap up this answer to the question, I think what inspired me to become vegan are my own experiences and my own research via reading, via the internet, via YouTube, and my own sort of decision making based on my experiences and my research and my knowledge. And secondary reason is being inspired by other YouTubers, subliminally inspired, or being sent out subliminal messages from other YouTubers that I used to watch from a very young age. The main ones I used to watch are probably Ralph Smart and Freely the Banana Gal, as I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with. The third question is, what is your favorite vegan documentary? Now, I'm going to have to come clean and say that I don't have one, and I haven't watched the most popular vegan documentaries either. I haven't watched Cowspiracy and I haven't watched Forks Over Knives, even though I've heard they're brilliant and they're very good to watch if you want to get clued up about that stuff, or if you're someone who's kind of, you know, who doesn't understand the whole vegan movement and you're open-minded and you want to go and see what it's all about and see what is happening when it comes to the production of your food. Growing up, I was always very inquisitive, and I still am. I was always very inquisitive and I was very curious. And I used to watch a lot of documentaries, not just on food or animals, but documentaries on pretty much anything that I can get my hands on. Like, for example, how something was made, like how trains are made, how the train is able to go along the track so smoothly, or how a kettle is made, like how the kettle actually manages to boil the water, or how the mechanism of a lock works. So how someone is able to get a lock picking kit and unpick the lock. I just wondered about really random things like that, to be honest. And when it came to food documentaries, I watched a bunch of different documentaries on food and animal documentaries, which showed the animals hanging on the hooks in the slaughterhouse, and it showed how they were killed, very explicit and etc. And I've seen these sort of documentaries from quite an early age, to be honest. Please excuse all the banging around. It's my flatmate literally in the other room. Don't know what the hell he's doing, but yeah, that's why there's a lot of banging around. I was always into documentaries about food, and I saw, yeah, the bitch has decided to put the fucking vacuum on. But we shall proceed forward. So I watched a bunch of different foodie, animal slaughterhouse videos and documentaries from a very young age. And as to my favourite one, like I said before, I don't have one, and I think if you're watching these documentaries, then it's a good thing, because you're allowing yourself to have or gain more information as to what really goes on. So I think all documentaries, all vegan documentaries that show you how things really are and what goes on behind closed doors is a great thing. So yeah, to answer that question, I do not have a favourite documentary, but I may just watch Forks Over Knives or Cowspiracy with my boyfriend, because he's not vegan, and I would like for him to watch those in order to kind of see what goes on too. And also, I haven't seen them, even though I am vegan, and I'm a strong vegan too. I'm not like torn between being vegan and not being vegan. I'm vegan 100%, and I'll continue to be vegan 100%, but I still think it's good for me to see it, because I haven't ever watched it before. So yeah, I don't have a favourite vegan documentary, but if you do, comment down below and let me know what yours are. Now, I'm gonna have to apologise for if you hear any sort of weird noises at all, like singing African music, banging doors or whatever. The house that I live in is pretty noisy, because it's a flat share, like I said, and I share it with 5 other people. So it can be a bit noisy randomly, just out of the blue. So I just want to, apologise in advance for that, and apologise for my future videos too, because this is this is gonna be an ongoing thing, right? And it's like, ideally I would like for my videos to be peaceful, but you kind of have to work with the environment that you're in, right? And if you can hear someone's conversation, then you can hear someone's conversation. So yeah, moving on to the 4th question. What vegan diet do you follow? Now, thinking about this question, I wouldn't say I'm on a vegan diet. I would say I'm on a vegan lifestyle. I eat anything and everything that is vegan. Like, as long as I like it, I eat it. Even vegan fast food, I'll eat it. I don't tend to eat a lot of fast food, but if I'm in a situation where, I don't have any other option, then that's what I'm going to choose to eat. And I'm fine with it for the most part. Like, can you hear my African neighbour? Not my neighbour. Can you hear my African flatmate? Like just yesterday I had a vegan burger. I say burger with floating quotation marks because it was one of those that was made with potato. Like imagine this is the burger, like right here, and inside in this part it's made of potato, and it's got peas, and it's got sweet corn, carrots, peas, sweet corn, carrots and potato and seasonings. That's what it's made of. And then on the outside it's nicely fried and it's brown. That's like your typical bog standard fast food burger. So I had one of those in a bun with some lettuce, and then I had a portion of chips with some chili sauce, ketchup and burger sauce. Literally, that was like my late night feast because my cooker isn't working. And literally I have no way to cook food or do anything that involves the heating of food. I don't own a microwave, so what I have to do now is just wait until the cooker gets fixed. So I guess I'll be living off of a bit of vegan fast food, which I'm okay with for now because there's no point in like worrying or getting upset over things you kind of don't really have any control of. But going back to the question, I would say my vegan diet or lifestyle consists of plant foods, whole foods, beans, legumes, rice, pasta. I like a lot of whole wheat food or whole grain food, such as brown bread, brown pasta, brown rice, anything brown, anything wholemeal, anything whole meat. That is my thing. I'll pick the whole grain food I am over the non-whole grain food I am, and that's just the way I am and the way I've always been. So I like a range of different foods, and I can't really pinpoint my diet. I can't say it's high fat, high carb, high this, high that. I mean, the closest it comes to is a high carb and low fat diet. But in saying that, I do like to consume quite a lot of calories and quite a lot of fatty foods. I like fat, and that's all there is to it. I like the good fat, basically. So think calorie dense foods like avocados and bananas. Those are the sort of filling foods that I like, and I like to consume a lot of them. So my diet is really based on intuition. So if I had to put a label on my diet, I would call it intuitive vegan eating. Question number 5. Is anyone in my family vegan? Well, no. No one in my family is vegan. I am the only vegan in my family, and it's caused a bit of, at the dinner table, I stopped coming around for dinner at my grandparents', and I just used to maybe just eat at a separate time to them. I don't think it was on purpose, but I noticed that that's what I was doing, and I realized that I don't like eating food with people or eating food with someone who is just really just biting down and just stuffing their face with dead animals. I tend to eat alone quite a lot, to be honest, or with my boyfriend. And when I'm eating with my boyfriend, he doesn't eat any meat around me, which is very nice and respectful of him. I haven't actually been around someone else eating meat for a very long time. Yeah, it's probably been about 8 months that I've not encountered someone eating meat in front of me, like someone that I know personally. So again, to answer the question, no one in my family is vegan, and I don't think anyone in my family will turn vegan unless something happens that kind of changes their thinking pattern, and then they start making changes in order to have a healthier lifestyle and live for longer. Because being vegan, it will do that for you. In terms of what family have said about my veganism, they have been quite ignorant, actually, as to why I'm vegan. They don't understand how I'm getting my protein, calcium, magnesium, zinc, iron. Basically, they don't understand how I'm living and thriving off of a vegan diet. And there have been several times where I've tried to tell them and explain to them that you get your magnesium like this, or I am perfectly fine on a vegan diet and I'm getting enough calcium, enough protein, enough this and that. But still, it doesn't actually, work its way through their mind that the vegan diet is legit. You don't have to eat meat to be healthy, because my grandparents, they come from a very old generation, Asian generation too, so from the Caribbean. And like I said in a previous video, in the Caribbean, meat is very big. People are very big on meat. For someone who is so old and stuck in like a different mindset, it'd be very hard for them to even comprehend how being a vegan is more beneficial to you than being a meat eater. So yeah, that's kind of how everything is in regards to my family. But I live away from family, so I don't really have to put up with their ignorance, with their comments. One time my granddad shook a piece of chicken in my face and he was like, "You don't know what you're missing," and he had a bit of pork in his hand, and that was really gross. And that's one of the reasons I actually decided that it's time to move out. And yeah, I couldn't be in an environment like that any longer, especially when veganism and being a vegan is something that is very important to me. It's part of my lifestyle and it's part of who I am and what I believe. So, you know, I had to move out. Again, to answer the question, no one in my family is vegan. Next question, I think this is question 6. Question 6 is, do you know any vegans in real life? Now, when I heard this question, I just thought, what is veganism? Is it a cult or something? Like, is it this thing that's extraordinarily special that there's hardly any vegans around? Like where I'm from, in London, the UK, there are lots of vegans around. You could be in a supermarket with a vegan and you wouldn't even know unless you got into conversation with them and you got to the topic of food and they were like, "I'm vegan," and you were like, "Hey, I'm vegan too." But you can know by someone's food choices and just by taking a peek in their basket whether they are vegan or not, or vegetarian or not. Of course, if you see like boxes and boxes of meat, then... But to actually answer the question, I don't know any vegans in real life. I used to have a best friend and he was vegan, but that relationship dwindled away and I no longer know any vegans in real life. I met a few vegans online, but I haven't met any of them in real life. So no, I'm not very I don't really mind. I don't have any close vegan friends or anything. I know of vegans in real life, but I don't know any vegans in real life, if that makes sense. Question 7 is, what is your favorite vegan dish? Oh my goodness. I really don't know how to answer this question, guys. Literally, I like so many different vegan foods. It's just like so many options to choose from. But one very simple dish that comes to my mind is a pasta dish. And any sort of pasta dish. It could be literally anything that involves pasta with some pasta sauce, or something that goes on top of pasta or next pasta or something. As long as it involves, I'm like all up for it. So think spaghetti bolognese, chili non carne with pasta, not with rice, because I know that typically it's made with rice, but I like to have it with pasta. So chili non carne, spaghetti bolognese, macaroni cheese, carbonara, soup with pasta pieces in it. Yeah, so anything made with pasta really. But for the purposes of answering this question, I'm just going to say spaghetti bolognese and macaroni cheese. Those are probably my 2 favorite dishes. But just keep in mind that everything that I like is my favorite dish, to be honest. Like, I'm not going to eat something and be like, I like this, but I don't really like it that much, so it's not gonna, you know, it doesn't meet the favorite list. Like, everything that I eat is something that I love, or I really, really like it. So it's just, I don't really have favorites. I just love everything that I eat. But definitely, pasta dominant meals are my favorite, and a portion of chips is always welcome. Question number 8. What is your stance on being cruelty-free, but their parent company isn't? I have mentioned this in a previous video. I think it's in my rant video where I mentioned this somewhere during the video. And basically what I said was, if you can't afford to buy cruelty-free and have the parent company that you're buying from be cruelty-free as well, then don't stress out and buy cruelty-free. Does it make sense? Just imagine this situation, right? Say that you're a vegan and your mum or your dad isn't vegan. You wanted to open up a little grocery store and sell your own fruit and veg, right? So imagine if you wanted to do that and then you get a customer coming in and then asking, is your mom or dad vegan too? And then you're like, no, they're not vegan. And then the customer just, puts back all their shopping, takes their money away and walks out and goes to a company that has an owner with a parent who is cruelty-free and vegan. Forgot to mention the cruelty-free in that last example, but you get my drift, right? So the person just left your store because your parent isn't cruelty-free and they're not vegan either. So you've just lost out on a customer, you've lost out on money, you've lost out on quite a bit. And that customer is, that customer has lost out on purchasing some lovely fruit, on getting some good customer service from you, on having a lovely shopping experience. And instead they're trying to hunt down an owner that has a cruelty-free parent. I know that example was pretty weird, right? But that's the example that I wanted to put forward to you guys. It's basically let bygones be bygones, and if someone wants to shop at a place that they clearly know isn't cruelty free, then let them shop at that place. And if someone wants to be very anal and be very black and white and go all out and just shop in a vegan and cruelty free place, then let them do that. It's just all up to personal preference at the end of the day. Whatever you think is the best option for yourself. But personally, I just shop where I shop. I shop at places that are very convenient for me to get to, such as Tesco's. As you've seen, I've done a lot of Tesco hauls, or Asda, or Morrison's. Those are the 3 stores that are closest to me, so that's where I'll shop. But if I was living closer by to a shop that was cruelty-free and I had Tesco's on the other side of that shop, I would definitely shop in the cruelty-free shop. Because it's closer. So personally, I shop conveniently and efficiently, and I base where I shop on how close it is to me, and that's all there is to it. I believe that wherever you're shopping is your own business and your own choice, so you should be free to do that without any judgment or criticism. Question number 9 is, how do you react to meat eaters? Either them being rude, ignorant, or having false claims, and just having general questions. Okay, so my answer to this question is, if someone has a general question, then I will answer that question in the best way that I know how to. If I don't know the answer to that question, I will point them in the direction of someone that does know the answer, or give them a link to a website that has more information that I can provide them. And if I don't know where to point them to, or I don't know the answer, then I'll just say I don't know. And as for people being rude, aggressive, mean, or ignorant, sometimes I'll ignore them, and other times I'll just, I'll tell them what is what, and I'll tell them that no, what you're saying is wrong, and I have the evidence to back this up, and I'll show them the proof and everything if they're open to seeing it. If I know that they're completely closed-minded and they're shut down from anything else apart from what they know and what they've experienced, then I'll just leave them, because there's no point in arguing with someone or having a debate with someone that is clearly not open to experiencing or learning new things. It's really based on intuition and what I feel that I should say to that person at the time. And that's how I deal with meat eaters and interactions with meat eaters. And with these questions, like how do you deal with interactions with meat eaters? Do you know any other vegans in real life? I feel like it could sound like a bit of a cult to people who aren't vegan, but the simple fact is that it's just a different lifestyle, a different diet, and we all eat food at the end of the day, but vegans don't eat meat or byproducts of animals, and vegetarians just don't eat meat, but they do eat the byproducts of animals. And meat eaters, well, you eat everything basically. We all consume food and we all get hungry, so I just think you should really be less judgmental when it comes to people's individual food choices or their lifestyle decisions. And if we can, we should try and be supportive of people, whether they're meat eaters, whether they're vegetarians, flexitarians, pescatarians, or vegans. If you can, or if you have the opportunity to, try and guide someone in the right direction. Don't push forcefully, but gently just gently guide them and kind of hold their hand if you have to in the right direction. Like when I say right direction, I simply mean vegan, because again, veganism can sound like a bit of a cult, but when you really do think about it scientifically and logically, there are so many benefits to becoming vegan, not just for yourself, not just for the person sitting next to you or on the opposite side of the room or wherever you are. It's great for the animals that suffer via the killing and taking of their byproducts, and it's for the environment and carbon footprints and global warming and everything. Everything is connected, and it just is this big round circle that a lot of people, they fail to see the circle of life, and you know how everything is affected by the smallest things, especially your lifestyle and your diet. So if you're not vegan and you're watching this video and you would like to become vegan or vegetarian, then I would say go for it, because honestly, you don't know what it's like to be a vegan unless you've been a vegan for quite some time. And don't just become vegan or become vegetarian for a day, a week, or a month. Make sure it's something that you want to stick to long term. And by long term, I mean more than a year. And then you can get to see and feel and believe all of the benefits that you hear other people talking about. Because you can hear someone saying, oh, being vegan, it got rid of my acne. I mean, being vegan, it's not proven. Like, it's not a hardcore fact that will get rid of acne, but it may improve your skin. And being vegan, it may help you lose weight, because as you know, vegetables and fruit, they have less calories in them than meat does. And it's all natural, and it's all healthy and all awesome. Especially if you're eating organic, that's even better. So just to wrap this video up, there are so many different health benefits, environmental benefits, and life benefits. Let's just call it that. There are so many life benefits to becoming vegan. And I don't want to sound like one of those people just pushing all the good to becoming vegan and whatnot, because I know that for some people, becoming vegan or making a transition can be very hard, and they actually have many things that hold them back, or they may have a downfall and go back to eating meat. But as long as you get back up and brush yourself off and realize why you're making this lifestyle change and this decision, then I assure you that you'll be better off for it. So that's all I have to say for this video. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video.
Yeah, yeah, come give me the veggies, give me the fruits, yeah, yeah. Give me the greens, give me the roots, what, give me the seeds, give me legumes, come on, I got what you need, I'm giving you truth, I'm a vegan, you could say this is a truth ballad, yeah. I start my day off with a fruit salad, I'm carved up, feeling healthy and full of energy, food is my prevention, I don't need chemical remedies, I don't take prescription pills, I'm never feeling sick or ill.